Hello, I am Susan Smith, and welcome to the first episode of Out Loud, Proud, and Strong. I am the founder of One Yoga, and this podcast is going to be all about all things yoga, mindfulness, and Ayurveda for mental, physical, spiritual wellness. I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time and really don't know how to go about it. And I thought I'd just use YouTube as a platform and Zoom because I can also easily screen share things. Recently, I had foot surgery, so where I didn't have time before, I now have lots of time. So I want to share with you my intention, and thank you all so much for tuning in here and listening. I know I listen to podcasts every morning when I'm getting ready or driving in the car. So hopefully you will find these short little messages helpful, and I will try to keep them to 15 minutes because we are all busy. And actually, that's what prompted me to really do this. I didn't realize how tired I was. I am a very type A passionate person, and I will share some of my story about how I found yoga, but I've been pretty much going and going and going. And after this foot surgery, I was told, I can't move, I can't drive, I have to rest for 3 weeks. And that for a type A person is a little nuts. So I thought, okay, what a better opportunity than now to kind of share how yoga has transformed my life. And my hope is that in each one of these little podcasts that you will get some kind of tool or message that you can use in your own daily life. So I'm going to start my timer here so that I don't run over. So I need to start at the beginning because I've been doing yoga and mindfulness practices now for close to 30 years, and it's hard for me to remember back to the beginning. I used to be an integrated systems sales rep for Xerox Corporation, and I had a very high-paying job that fed my self-confidence and my self-worth and my bank account really nicely. But I was not really happy. I was on that grind, that daily grind of wake up, make money, the American dream. And that's wrong, like on a lot of levels. And it wasn't until I was actually pregnant with my first child, and I just finished securing this huge deal, like $4.3 million deal, which was a big commission paycheck for me. And I'm on the phone with this order intake person who has to process my orders. And she's like, oh, well, you forgot to get, the CIO or CFO, I don't remember who was signing the deal, to initial this thing. So you need to go back and get that done. This woman clearly did not understand how difficult it is to get an appointment with a CFO or CIO. And I'm like, I put her on mute and I'm literally beating the phone against the cubicle, like, because this meant like President's Club. This was a huge commission check. And this dude pops over the other side of the cubicle like, are you all right? I'm like, no, I'm not all right. Get back on the phone. I don't even remember what happened. I guess I went back to the CFO or CIO and got him to initial it. The order went through, but it was in that day that I decided I needed something else. And I was a total workaholic, exerciseaholic. I loved it. Exercise was what kept me sane. I would run 5 to 7 days a week. I was definitely in the gym, but yoga was for sissies, right? That was not something I was going to do. And it wasn't until after I gave birth to my first child that one of my dear friends had given me a VHS tape, and I popped it in, and I was like, I'm just going to do this while he's napping. And that was it. Like, I have never felt such peace and energy and power. And I was in a puddle of tears. I knew that everything I had been carrying emotionally in my body was coming out. And that was it. I mean, I signed up for the first of many teacher trainings that I went through. And I began my yoga journey, and I began it with the physical practice. And I think that's essential. A lot of people start with meditation, but meditation, let's face it, that's hard, especially if you're a type A person, or even just live in America, for God's sakes, because we're on this treadmill of go, 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 get things done, self-worth, self-esteem, yada, yada, yada. And the list goes on. And then someone goes, yeah, just sit quietly and observe your breath. And you're like, right? So I found it easier to start with the physical. And so one of the things I'm going to do is in the bottom of this, I'll put kind of a little message to you, and I'll include some links to some practices, asana practices. I began with a very physical practice, and I committed to doing that for 1 year straight. Every single morning, I woke up like clockwork while my baby was sleeping, because once he woke up, all bets were off. And I began, and that's how the transformation started to take hold. I realized not only is it a great physical exercise, but and getting you in shape, but the trauma. So we all have trauma, big T or little t trauma. Nobody gets a hall pass without it, and it's stored in the body. And asana, which translates in English, it actually means come to an easy seat, but we use it for the word postures or poses. That's how Americans refer to yoga asana, as the postures or physical practice, but it means a lot more than that. Is designed to discharge trapped energy in your body, and then to recharge you with light, loving, affirmative energy. And it is a process. Our bodies store everything cellularly. The biochemistry alone in just doing a daily asana practice, and how it starts to change your bodies and your mind and your spirit, are a game changer right there. So that's what I did. I started there. And so I'm going to offer you that to start there. It just to kind of wrap up that little, I did continue to work for Xerox for a while I was training to be a yoga teacher. And little sidebar, at the time I was married, and my husband and I both made decent money. I remember him saying, because this was a long time ago. I mean, 1997, and my base salary at the time was like 85 grand plus commission. So I was making easily 140 a year. And he looked at me and he's like, you're going to quit working to teach yoga? Like, I was like, I can do it. I had a great business mind. I am going to figure out a way to make money doing what I love. This is my calling. And yoga is not always a calling for everyone, but the practices and the program that we teach here at One Yoga is a life-changing practice. And it is so my 200-hour teacher training, everybody goes, I don't want to be a teacher. It's soul journey work. It's not about just becoming a teacher. It is about uncovering your samskaras, or your habituation, your epigenetics, which is the karmic DNA handed down over generation, which creates the way you walk through life, or at least contributes to your thought patterns, your habit patterns, your belief systems, right? So samskaras are facilitated pathways, biochemistry stored in the body that are a result of direct life experiences, perception, and karmic DNA, or some of our epigenetics. And so that information becomes stored in the body. And asana helps us rewire and remap that. As simple as, so I mean, I've confessed to being a workaholic. You know, I grew up, I had a really good family life. My dad, mom grew up as products of the Depression. Dad was an accountant, mom was a nurse. They loved us dearly. They gave us a beautiful life, but they worked, and everything was work. And so that programming is been in me. You work before you play. You get it done. You be the responsible one. Once all that's done, then you can play. And it's taken me years, and I'm still a work in progress, to start to reprogram that, because I have a really hard time not working. Plus the fact I like what I do now, right? So it's not drudgery, it's exciting. So anyway, I'm almost out of time, and I do want to adhere to the time factor because I want you to listen. So this is my first podcast, in the beginning. So Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras talks about the 3 steps on the ladder of yoga. And the first one he refers to as tapas, and tapas actually means fiery discipline. And it's the fiery discipline of transformation. And it includes asana, or the physical practice of yoga. It includes breath work, pranayama, so learning how to breathe, because I'll bet most of you aren't breathing. And I'll also include a little box breathing link at the bottom of this video as well, because even if next session, I'm going to give you 3 things you can do every day for sanity. So breathing, exercise, asana, and mindful eating. Like, don't just like do your asana and then stop by Mickey D's and get an egg McMuffin on the way to work. Yeah, start to become mindful. So first step is tapas. Second step on the ladder of yoga is known as swadhyaya, which just means to study self, to be really curious about you, to like go, that's interesting. I got really upset about that. I wonder why. I shouldn't have been so upset. So to just start to become mindful of your thoughts and actions in daily life, especially when they're harmful to ourselves, because we do that all the time. Like, oh my God, that was so stupid. Why did I say that? No, not nice. But catch yourself. Oh, wow. I just did that. I just gave myself a hard time. Why? And be curious. That's swadhyaya. It includes journaling, witnessing observer, a bunch of other tools, but just start becoming aware. And the third step Patanjali recommends is Ishwara Pranadhana, which translates as surrender to God, or surrender to the divine, surrender to source energy, because we are part of source energy, and it is constantly working in us to show us the path of ease and effortless. And so start there. Start with physical movement. I'll give you some links. The breathing, I'll give you a little box breathing exercise. So when you feel yourself ignited, you can do that. Be curious about your thoughts and actions, and actively hold the intention to surrender. Let's start there. Those are the first 3 steps. I named this podcast Out Loud, Proud and Strong because it's about reclaiming your authentic self and owning it out loud, proud and strong, all of you. Shame is a demon that keeps us from walking the path and being who we truly are. And so let's do all things yoga and let's own it out loud, proud and strong. I am Susan Smith, founder of One Yoga, and I'm wishing you great peace and blessings. Have a fabulous day. Namaste. I'm trying to stop the video. If yes, you will receive an email notification. Are you sure you want to stop recording? Yes, I do. See, I told you I'm a novice here. Bear with me as I learn technology. Much love.